In one of the hardest hit areas in Los Angeles. As you know, Newhall is northwest of the city. It is a mountainous area. There is extensive structural damage in Newhall. Freeway report: the Golden State Freeway is closed north from Roxford to Newhall, where we said damage is very heavy. Deep fissures are reported in the pavement, some of them in 2 to 3 feet stretches. The South Bay area of Los Angeles, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, is also reportedly hard hit. It's a little cold here this morning. As I said, it's 49 degrees, so excuse me if I have to catch a breath every once in a while. As I said earlier, power is out throughout most of the city. It is being restored gradually. I have some more information. The damage reports coming in from downtown Los Angeles: many of the older buildings have suffered heavy structural damage. Whatever information we have available on the serious earthquake which shook the Los Angeles area at 6:01 this morning. I might say that NBC went off the air shortly after the earthquake, and we have been transmitting from our portable truck, which is located in the parking lot outside our maintenance shop at NBC. I understand we also have another camera operating, but we're broadcasting from portable facilities. NBC in Burbank is off the air, except that we're transmitting from our portable facilities in the lot. This just handed me: the Rinaldi overpass on the Golden State Freeway has collapsed. There are no reports of any injuries in that collapse, but the Rinaldi overpass on the Golden State Freeway has collapsed. You could probably hear sirens, which have been in the background most of the morning since this earthquake occurred, which has now been more than just about an hour and a half ago. To repeat, all schools in the Los Angeles city and county system are closed for the day, and so officials can assess damage to those school buildings. They will remain closed. Traffic lights are out throughout most of the city, so if you are driving, please drive with caution if you have to drive, if necessary to drive. Most of the information we're still receiving at this hour is coming to us over our radios from some of the commercial radio stations in town, because power in NBC is off. Our teletypes are not running. If we can just, well, thank you, Sean.
It's now being restored, David.
Pardon me?
Power is now being restored in NBC.
All right. Steve Fentress, our executive producer, tells me that power is now being restored at NBC, and as soon as power is restored here, we will probably be broadcasting to you from our studios. We will have our wire services operating so that we can bring you the latest information as soon as it's received. I'm going to go back and read over some of these earlier reports. There were some reports of deaths this morning in downtown Los Angeles. 2 people were reportedly killed in the earthquake that struck in the downtown area. A building collapsed at 1st and Mission Streets in downtown Los Angeles. The victims have not been identified. There were also reports of numerous injuries throughout the city. We do not know how many people are injured, what the estimates of damage is at this.
The streets in downtown Los Angeles. In Southern California. A telephone company official in San Francisco said a number of circuits were disrupted. Of course, I'm sure that all of you here have been aware of communications difficulty in this area. We'll have more on the earthquake after this message.
From the Veterans Hospital in Sylmar, where some structures have reportedly collapsed. I want to go back through some of this early copy. I'm going to have to drop some of it. to bring you something that we said earlier to repeat. There is some danger of the Van Norman Dam bursting, and the Devonshire Police Division is calling for volunteers to help evacuate some hospital patients in that area. Oh boy, thank you very much. I just got some hot coffee, and it's about, I don't know, they say it's 49 degrees. It feels like it's about 35 degrees, if you'll excuse me for a second. I think that's the best thing that's happened since the quake struck this morning at 6:01. Anyway, I'm going to repeat that the Devonshire Division of the Los Angeles Police Department is in urgent need of volunteers to help evacuate hospital patients in the area of the Van Norman Dam, which is in danger of bursting. Again, schools are closed in Los Angeles, will be closed today. Most schools are closed in Los Angeles County. Oh, thank you, Irv. Irv Rose, the director, who was in here bright and early this morning, just brought me a stool. It's a little cold, but it's a relief. I'm going to go back again over some of these reports that were given to us earlier, and the coffee makes me feel a lot better. In Berkeley, some scientists pegged the earthquake, which its epicenter is in the San Fernando Valley, at being about 6 or more than 6 on the Richter scale. I might say that the quake shook Los Angeles with such ferocity this morning that it almost knocked the needle off the Caltech seismograph, which measures the intensity of earthquakes. Dr. Charles Richter was called out of bed this morning. He said that this earthquake, he compared it with the severity of the earthquake in 1962 in Bakersfield, which caused considerable damage and death at that point. So far, we have reports of serious damage throughout the Los Angeles basin. We have reports of at least 5 deaths, but it's not known at this time how many people have been injured. Numbers of roads and freeways in the Los Angeles area have deep fissures and cracks in them. If you're driving, please be careful. Gas mains are broken, water mains are broken, electrical power lines are down throughout the city. Phone service is still out throughout the Los Angeles area. Police urge people not to go out unless it is absolutely necessary, because so many of the streets are in such bad shape. A piece of a building fell in downtown Los Angeles into a parking lot. Fortunately, no one was hurt in that, but 2 people were killed as part of an older building in downtown Los Angeles collapsed. Thank you, Sean. Sean O'Kane, our early morning film editor, who came in to cut the news film for the early morning news, is now acting as a news writer and reporter of sorts. Thank you.
The utility crews say they are now apparently in control of that situation, but many areas of Los Angeles have been without gas, without electric service for the past 6 hours, and authorities say that they could be without those services for most of this afternoon in some cases. Where there was no fire, there was still damage. A grocery store here in Studio City, near Hollywood. The scene was only one of many that affected businessmen and homeowners throughout the area. As we have said, Governor Reagan has declared the entire Southern California quake scene a disaster area. Local banks are now offering low-interest loans to those suffering heavy losses, and it is expected the federal government will soon proclaim Southern California to be a disaster area itself. Here in the San Fernando Valley, one of the many gas main breaks that occurred almost moments after the quake itself hit this morning. Downtown Hollywood, on the street of dreams for some people, layers of glass this morning. Plate glass windows in stores, in shopping centers, luncheon counters, and theaters broken out by the force of the jolt. Some of the older buildings adorned with gingerbread at the corners, the gingerbread fell off, sometimes taking plate glass windows with it on the way down. In downtown Los Angeles, there are a number of newer high-rise buildings constructed since engineers have learned more about earthquakes and how to build to withstand them. But some of the older buildings fell down, in whole or in part. In Burbank, part of a church steeple, gone. And yet with the damage, the loss of life, now 13 confirmed dead, perhaps it is fortunate that Los Angeles was asleep at 6 o'clock this morning, that the streets were not filled with people, and that more did not die, as did at San Francisco and Long Beach some years ago. Freeways in Los Angeles this morning, many shut down. Bridges collapsed moments after the strain itself, some an hour or an hour and a half later. Reports say that 2 people died when the freeway bridge came crashing down upon their car. And that's what an earthquake looks like.
Horrendous. As many of you know, California is located on a very earthquake-prone area which is known to geologists as the Pacific Rim of Fire. It's just about a year ago that various mystics and seers were predicting a California earthquake to end all earthquakes, pushing Southern California into the sea. Let me tell you that a lot of us who were laughing then are not laughing today. This was, in fact, a major earthquake. It struck at 6 a.m. and jolted the whole world for a full minute, at least the world under us. Those of us who were still in bed could only hang on. Some said they prayed. Those who were on their feet, some of them, suffered some nausea. All suffered fear. Many, of course, were hurt or killed. Earthquakes are not new to California. The great San Francisco earthquake and fire in 1906 killed 452 people. The 1933 Long Beach earthquake killed 120. The 1952 Tehachapi earthquake killed 12 people. And in 1964, some people in California died after a tidal wave associated with the great Alaska earthquake. There's a thing called the Richter scale, which seismologists use to measure earthquake intensity. The one that hit here this morning was measured at between 6 and 6.5, although some of the instruments located here in Los Angeles were knocked off the chart, so they're not precisely sure of the measurement yet. But they think it was between 6 and 6.5. Alaska was 8.5, the worst ever in the United States. And the San Francisco earthquake was 8.3. Today, at this hour, Southern California is still shaking. The ground is still shaking, and every now and then some of us do too as the aftershocks continue. We're going to get a late report now on the situation at the Van Norman Reservoir and Dam, which is threatening a residential area of the northwest San Fernando Valley. We go live to Tom Brokaw, NBC News.
The situation here at this municipal reservoir in northeastern Los Angeles, in the northeastern part of the San Fernando Valley, actually, is looking better all the time, according to officials. What happened is this. The earthen face on that lower part of the dam that you see there collapsed during the initial shock this morning. The concrete roadway that now leads into the water, before that, led across the top of the reservoir. There has been pretty steady erosion since that time. But immediately, municipal officials began lowering the level of the water, and they are now lowering it at about a foot every 2 hours. And a deputy Los Angeles fire chief just told me that they now think that they're going to be successful in getting the stress of the water away from that weakened face of the dam. Below us, in a heavily residential area of the San Fernando Valley, policemen from Los Angeles have been evacuating neighborhoods. Now, there is quite a considerable area evacuated at this time, probably more than would be necessary should the dam actually break through or should there be more steady erosion. But at any rate, the situation looks pretty good here. There were a lot of reports about cracks in the upper dam and a flood of water coming through, but as far as we know right now, those simply are not true. There has been, as you may expect, some leakage in the upper dam, some leakage in this lower dam as well. But the situation is looking better all the time. The key to it, of course, is lowering the level of the water in the reservoir. And that is now going down at the rate of about 1 foot every hour. And officials are looking more optimistic about the situation here at the Van Norman Lakes at this time. Below us, residents have been evacuated. It's mostly a matter of wait and see, and if we can apply the same principle to this reservoir as we do to a watched pot, I guess we'll be okay, because there are a good many people looking at it right now. This is Tom Brokaw, NBC News, at the Van Norman Reservoir in northeastern San Fernando.
Thank you, Tom. To recapitulate now the story of this morning's Los Angeles earthquake. The quake hit Los Angeles just at dawn, 1 minute after 6, we are now told. It killed at least 14 people outright. That's an increase of 1 since we've been on the air. 3 other people died of heart attacks. The primary threat, as you know, comes from that dam at the northern end of the San Fernando Valley, weakened by the earthquake, and those hundreds of people have been evacuated from the community of Mission Hills, which lies just below the dam. Several hospitals were damaged by the quake. 8 people died at a veterans hospital in Sylmar, a community along the northern rim of the San Fernando Valley. 3 others died at a San Fernando Valley nursing home, and 2 of the city's freeways, which merge at the northern end of the San Fernando Valley, have been closed by the collapse of bridge spans, which were still under construction today. The community of Newhall, north of Los Angeles, and about 10 miles from the epicenter of the earthquake, has been virtually cut off. All reports from there are fragmentary. A high school and several businesses suffered extensive fire damage. There's been some looting in Newhall and some arrests for looting. The San Fernando Valley is the location of a new facility to tie together the electrical power resources of the West Coast, and that intertie now has been knocked out. The water supply of the San Fernando Valley has been threatened by damage to the water chlorination plant. That's the latest. For Tom Snyder, this is Tom Pettit, NBC News, Los Angeles. Good afternoon.